Brooke, Rollins, thanks for joining us today on GB News and GBN Tonight. You were in the Oval Office last week, the unveiling of that trade deal.
Yeah.
Were you surprised it came so quickly?
You know, I was not surprised just because we have had so many in the hopper and there have been so many discussions all the way, for I guess the last month. What I was very pleasantly surprised about is that it was the UK. So we knew there were multiples moving. There was another deal announced with China just, I guess, yesterday.
Yeah. More
More deals coming in the next week or so. But the fact that it was the UK on the very first one out of the gate, on the 80th anniversary of VE Day with the ally, it was a great day.
Because there was that connection, isn't there, between the UK and US?
It's an unbelievable connection. And I think that, you know, I've been here in the UK now for a couple days. I've been meeting with some of the members of your parliament and the cabinet, the prime minister's top leadership. Headed over to 10 Downing from here to right now to go continue the conversations. And just the opportunity to not only build new partnerships and understand, you know, what this partnership can mean going forward, but also understanding where we've been in the past and frankly, the realignment of the world economy, which is happening right now. I think the UK and America should continue to lead the way and find new places where we can partner.
Bilateral deals are what counts.
Yes.
What's your view of the European Union? You want to do a deal with them on agriculture. That's one of the big things that Donald Trump's always saying in the Oval Office. Why can't we send our farming goods to the EU? Now, you can do it with the UK. Mm-hmm. Do you worry about close alignment between the UK and the EU? Will that damage this deal?
Oh, I don't think so at all. You know, here's the bottom line is that for so long, America, we've been moving our products out around the world, but there's so much more opportunity. And just as an example, here in the UK, and in fact, we're talking about rice today.
We had some earlier for lunch.
Exactly, you and I had some. It was delicious, thanks to Debbie standing right there and her partner. That we only, though, in all of that, America only provides 2% of the rice that the UK sells, just 2%. So there should be a lot more of our rice coming into a country that doesn't grow your own rice here for a lot of reasons. So I think the alignment of the EU and the UK is great. I don't think it hampers or compromises any opportunity that the US has with either country moving forward.
Okay.
And the deal that we struck and announced last Thursday in the Oval Office, that's really just the beginning. There's so many more opportunities, and that's what's so exciting.
The whole conversation about a lot of it has been hampered by issues, concerns on food safety.
Right.
By which you mean, of course, hormone injected beef or chlorine washed chicken. Is that a worry for UK consumers?
Well, it's interesting. Well, first of all, it is not a worry for
Right.
UK consumers, but let me add to that. This morning I did a bigger press, it's called a press gaggle.
Right.
And I think we had 15 cameras and every,
Oh, wow.
you know, I mean, it was big. It was in the middle of London. And I think the very first question was about the chlorinated chicken. But here's what the press in this country have missed, or a lot of the press, that only 5% of our chicken in America still uses that chlorine-based approach. Still proven safe, no one should be worried about it, but when only 5% of the chicken, there's obviously something larger that the narrative is not aligned with what's actually happening in reality. So part of my job also is to ensure that we're correcting any false narratives, that the perceptions that may be here that aren't entirely accurate, that American food isn't of the highest quality or the safest. And at the end of the day, this is about providing the UK and your consumers more choices.
With choices and label them properly and let consumers decide.
That's
There's one
exactly
argument
right.
for that. I
Which
get
is
it.
what we do in America. That's right.
Exactly. But with those, I mean, there's no hormone injected beef and chlorine washed chicken won't be coming here as a result of the deal announced last week, will it?
They're still deciding that. I know that the markets have been opened. There's still a lot of details.
So they might be
worked
coming
out.
here.
I think that it could be, but I think there are a lot of steps that have to happen first. But ultimately, providing the best meat, the best ethanol, those were the two of the main things under the last deal, but continuing the discussion on poultry, on pork, on seafood, on specialty crops, on, you know, everything else that we have to offer, but also at the same time, opening up the markets for the UK products to come into the US as well. It is absolutely.
So why are UK farmers worried? Are they being protectionist?
Well, I think that, I don't know specifically, but I also would say that in America under President Trump, we've had a bit of a renaissance of elevating and honoring our American farmers, our American agriculture. Under the last administration, of course, we just switched about 100 days ago. Under the last administration, Joe Biden, they were much more focused on things like diversity, equity, and inclusion. DEI is what we call it in America, much more focused on Green New Deals. And our administration is hyper-focused on putting our farmers first, getting American agriculture to the world. So not fully understanding the dynamics here in the UK,
Yes.
but my
We have a similar debate here. Don't worry about it.
I would think that's right, but putting your farmers first and ensuring that the backbone of your country, whether it's America or UK or the EU or Canada or Mexico, you can't have true national security without food security.
Well, they're hiking taxes on these family farms. That's a big issue here.
That's right, and that's a problem. I mean,
Are you worried about that?
100%. I think that anywhere in the world where you're increasing the cost of your input, obviously increasing the cost of taxes, increasing the cost of the land.
On farmers.
That's right. You're going to start closing your farms. And at that point, you begin to, outsource to, of course, America. We'd love to outsource. We're such great partners, but there are other partners in the world that maybe aren't the greatest partners for other reasons that we've got to be hyper-focused on. And I will say I've now met with 2 or 3 of your cabinet, your top leaders.
Steve Reed, the Environment Secretary.
Yes, and Mr. Reynolds, I met with him later today. I'm going to 10 Downing. I'm meeting with your Energy Secretary. And really, there seems to be an aligned focus on providing more growth in your country, working on a lot of the same issues we're working on in America. What I would suggest is that your farmers have to be a massive part of that conversation.
Perhaps the government here should rethink those tax plans.
Well, potentially. I mean, I'm not here to tell them what to do, but I think that's right. I think that's right. You want to lower the taxes, open up the markets. And
have you been getting a load of spam in your email recently? What about random calls? It's really annoying, isn't it? Data brokers are out there collecting your personal information. Anything from your email, your full name, your address, and even your political affiliation. Cyber criminals can even use AI to mimic the voices of friends and family to trick people into sending them money. And it gets even worse. People out there are getting huge loans taken out in their names without even knowing about it. But don't worry, because the sponsor of this video, Incogni, can help. They reach out to the data brokers on your behalf and request that your information is removed from their databases. Incogni continues to make sure that your data is removed automatically from the internet via repeated removal requests. So, how can you get started? Well, step 1, hit the link in the description, create an Incogni account and tell us whose data you'd like removed. Step 2, grant Incogni the right to work on your behalf. Step 3, sit back, relax, and watch Incogni work. They will update consistently so you know when your data has been removed. Incogni is risk-free for 30 days, so you can try it for yourself and you'll get a free refund if the service isn't for you. So take back your personal data today with Incogni. Use the code GBNews using the link in the description below and you'll get 60% off an annual payment plan.
And do whatever you can to support
also about Donald Trump. I mean, we are slightly obsessed about him in this country. He's on the channel a lot, his Oval Office press conferences. What's he like to deal with personally?
I have known him for almost 10 years. I was in his first White House in the West Wing with him for 3 years of the 4 years of term 1. Worked with him in what I call the Great Pause, which was the time between term 1 and term 2. The Great Pause, our 4-year pause. He obviously expects absolute competence and results and judging the effect of what we're doing. We don't have meetings to have meetings. We don't sit around and talk about things for days. It is an all gas, no breaks, all the time. But I have loved working.
And those cabinet meetings we see, you pipe up with your,
I do.
What I'm doing, sir, I'm doing this, and that's on TV.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. It's interesting. We do bring the cameras in on all of our cabinet meetings. And we've only been there a couple months, so we've had 5.
We'd run it on the channel.
You do, so you all see them over here.
Yeah, we see them.
And I think this president's work to ensure that all Americans, but also the world, see we are the most transparent, perhaps the most active administration of all time. Certainly this first 100 days would prove that, but you can see that firsthand in those cabinet.
He's coming here later this year for a state visit, we think.
Yes.
He's a divisive figure. There might be demonstrators. What would you say to Britons who have that feeling that he's a bit below the salt, but not someone who we should be talking to?
Well, what I would say is this, that only a handful of times in our lifetimes, no matter where you live, transformational figures come along. And you've had them here in the UK.
Margaret Thatcher being one.
Margaret Thatcher
Mary
being
Tony
one.
Blair.
Yes, yeah, Winston Churchill, etc. Yeah, you just see that. And in America, we've had those as well. I sincerely believe, and I know him, he is a friend, a mentor, a boss, a partner, that Donald Trump is one of those transformational figures. And while at the moment, maybe someone doesn't like the way he talks or how he tweets or whatever it is, at the end of the day, his focus is on making America great again, and in so doing, providing stability to the world. So even if you don't like his personality, I think the vision and the leadership and the courage and the fearlessness is unparalleled, and that is to be admired.
Yeah, judging by his actions, maybe not his words.
Thank you. That's a very good way to state it.
And your message to GB News viewers? What would you say to our viewers? What's your message from the White House to them?
Yeah, what I would say is this, that from the very beginning, the partnership, well, maybe after the revolution, maybe not the very beginning.
Don't go too far.
But yeah, we'll put that aside. But really, from almost the very beginning, the partnership of the UK, of Great Britain, and America is, I believe, unlike anything this world has ever seen. And I believe it has produced that peace, that stability, the willingness to stand up and be counted when the darkness or the bad guys are, trying to do some really ugly things. And we've seen that throughout at least our short history, your longer history. So that partnership is of so much importance. And it's just been a joy. I think I'm the first cabinet member in the new administration to come to England and to see and to talk to our people. And it's just, it's an incredible honor to be here.
Brooke Rollins, we're out of time, but thank you for joining us tonight on GB News. Enjoy your time in the UK.
Thank you. So great to be here. Thank you.